should be good now. Yeah. I think I fixed it. What's good? Oh, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the first live session of 2025. Super excited to have you guys all here. Type in the chat if you guys can hear me good. Before we get started, just want to make sure the stream is working good. Type in the chat, anything. Type anything in the chat, an emoji, whatever it is, if you guys can hear me good. See me okay. But happy to have everyone here. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. There's a lot of videos on the channel that you can check out, and turn on the notifications because there's going to be a lot of daily and weekly action coming through this channel. I'll be doing live streams daily at this time. I'm going to turn the music down a bit. But we'll be doing live streams at this time every day, 7 a.m. Eastern time, covering gold, XAUUSD, the crypto markets, updates, and key trade setups. There'll be a lot of value and information on these sessions that are packed, so grab your notebooks and get ready. Quick reminder for anybody who's also new here, you can check out the pinned post inside the chat here, my Discord, to receive daily updates. I'll drop it real quick for anybody who's not already there. Drop it in a minute. But in this session, we're going to be going over some key stuff. I got a lot of value packed for this session. It's gonna be great. Let me check the chat. Awesome, awesome, awesome. We got South Africa, Colombia in the house. I was just in Colombia a couple months ago. Italy, dope. Italy's dope. Italy's fire. Austria, I've been there. UK, Sweden. I've been to Sweden. Sweden's dope. Africa, I'm seeing Africa out there. That's dope. What's good? It's 7 a.m. where I'm at, pre-New York market. Happy to see you guys in the chat. Now, today's topic is going to be gold blueprint. We're going to kick off 2025 with some blueprints. I have many of these blueprints on further sessions. We're going to go over them throughout these daily live sessions. What you can expect also from these sessions, guys, is trade ideas, other mindset, discipline, and tips. A lot of information jam-packed on these sessions. But what I want to cover today is just one key topic, and that's the XAU blueprint number 1. We're going to get into blueprint number 1 today. The session's recorded, so you guys can always go back and re-watch it to refine the information, right? Because the market, it just repeats patterns in times of the day, times of the week, and even the way gold's actually trading right now is similar to how it traded yesterday and the day before. I'm going to be teaching you guys some key things on gold to help you level up your understanding of gold in the 2025 year. So make sure you're on these live sessions because every single one of them is going to be jam-packed with value and key things you're not going to want to miss. We're going to get into some live analysis as well on this session in a little bit. We have a big day in the market tomorrow. It's NFP. I have a really good video on my YouTube channel that has over 10,000 views. It's the most viewed video. You should check it out if you haven't. I'll drop it in the chat in a little bit. And after this session, I'll remind you guys where it is. Really good video on news. And even tomorrow, when we go back on this stream tomorrow, I'll teach you guys kind of what to expect before NFP tomorrow. But yeah, I'm excited. Someone said fishing for gold. Current market situation. We can go over the current market situation for sure. If you actually really look at price right now, it's trading how it was yesterday. And gold, like I wrote here, it moves best during specific market sessions. So one thing I wrote is focusing your trading time on different sections. So section number 1 is Tokyo pre-London. That's what we're going to cover here. Then we're going to talk a little bit more about London session and New York session. The price right now, if you look at gold, it's doing what it usually does around this time. So what time is it? It's 7:30 right now. What session started 4 or 5 hours ago? Type in the chat if you guys know what session started about 4 or 5 hours ago. Type in the chat for me. I know the answer. I want to see if you guys know the answer. Anyone? Right? It's easy. London session. If we're on the hourly chart right now, so we can actually see, right? In the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, gold has already made a move. It's made a move in London session. We're about to go into New York session. So this is something key to understand about when gold makes its moves and how it usually moves. Because New York session is coming in about an hour, right? New York open. So the key thing with gold to understand is that often it can make a London trend, right? And I'm going to keep this basic for this session, but basic and keeping things simple is very effective in the market. All right. we have a London trend. If we look at the time right now, it's 7:30 in the morning before New York, and we've already had some bullish movement. We had a nice 100 pip move on gold here. So one thing you got to understand, and if you look at yesterday, let's go look at yesterday's price action by this time, right? Around this time, and where London session was opening. Yesterday, a similar bullish trend, not as aggressive, but more bullish movement building up before New York session. We're pretty much trading how we were yesterday and the day before on gold, because both London sessions started more bullish heading into New York. Typically, gold's going to have a London trend. A lot of times you can capitalize on it by finding a direction by this time. It's already before New York session, and there's already been a move. So when it comes down to day trading or scalping gold, there's one move you want to understand that can happen pretty much every day is by this time, you can have some movement. You can trend pretty much like this or more. If we look at the last like 2 days on gold, London session has been more bullish, pushing into New York. It's extended up into New York. And then in New York session, you've gotten a big retracement that carries it on, consolidates, and then it builds up bullish again in London. Going into New York, it extends in New York, and then there's a big retracement both days. So today, I'm expecting pretty much like the same thing we've seen the last 2 days on gold, where it's probably going to keep pushing up to like 26.75. Like we're bullish right now. Gold is bullish right now. When you look at the daily, gold right now is bullish. You don't really want to be looking for sells aggressively or holding sells too long on gold in this case, because the sells, as you can see, they're turning into like buy the dip scenarios. You're getting these fast retracements that are turning into pretty much a buy the dip scenario. So you might see a pullback or a retracement like you've seen the last couple of days on gold going into New York. But that could extend up. Like we're bullish more, so we could probably see price extend more and then try to retrace back. A movement like this yesterday would be good to wait for. If something like that happens in New York, I'm not really looking for sells. I've been catching buys all week on gold. Honestly, I should have held some of my buys. I'm up like almost 7K on the week. If I just held some trades, would have been up like double that amount if I just held a couple trades a little longer. But all I've caught this week so far is buys. I actually went over in my Discord channel this week, a couple days ago, or yesterday, right? In the Discord chat, I went over some key things to watch on gold this week with the 2645, 2646 area, and then 2650. Well, that's important. We talked about that in our Discord chat. This is a community Discord. It's free. There's no course in here. It's just a free YouTube Discord community, public chat. Anyone in the world can join this chat. You don't have to be a member of anything. I don't have any course or anything like that. This is just a community public thing. So if you're here on the YouTube, check it out if you're not in there already. But exactly what I said, like literally to the point, this week happened. Like, so I followed my plan this week. Like we were looking for a bullish scenario. If price holds 2645, 2646, and then the 2650 area could push towards 2670. So at this point, I'm literally exiting the rest of my positions. I'll show you right now. Like I literally have some little guys remaining, like some little trades that I've just like literally closed out. Should have held some, but I got some little runners remaining. At this point, it's kind of done most of what I expected for the week. If you're in the Discord, I mentioned it yesterday. It was pretty spot on analysis that we went through. So starting off, first trading week. This is my first trading week. I don't usually trade gold in December. So I've been trading now for 10 years. For anybody who's new, doesn't really know me, trading now for about 10 years in the market. And I don't like trading December. I like to give myself a break, preserve my energy, because all the way from like February to October, I'm putting a lot of time into the charts. 8 hours a day, 6 hours a day, 10 hours a day. You guys will see in the Discord how much time I really put into the charts with the amount of information that I'm going to be giving you guys in that daily. You guys will really see. So end of November, going into like December and even January is a time where I like to take a break, kind of chill on the charts, preserve the energy, get the mental game plan, build some blueprints for the market. So there's a reason, and every day if you come on these streams, there's a reason you're going to see why I go live at this time and other times that we're going to go live on this channel and inside the Discord. There's a reason I like to go live at this time, because it's right before the New York session. So obviously by now there's been a London trend. I caught some of that London trend today, because if you look at price yesterday, so before we go into the blueprint, London yesterday, bullish, New York, huge retracement, right? Or sorry, that was Tuesday. Huge retracement. Did the same thing the next day. So I caught on to that after Tuesday's trading, after you catch on to, okay, look how price moved at this time, this day. What trend are we in? Are we in an uptrend? Are we in a downtrend? Right? Because when you look at price on Tuesday and you follow the times of the day, right? I'll mark it for you right here. London is beginning here. Right? London begins here. So you follow the price today, London. So today's blueprint is going to be important because I'm talking about Tokyo pre-London, another really key time where things start to build up. Because by now, and after you rewatch this maybe a couple times, you should understand this, right? If you look at the last 3 days, what has the London session done? More bullish, right? We can even see now it's continuing, it's getting that extension into New York. So if you're in gold buys, you could probably hold it for another hour, maybe even a bit longer until there's a retracement. A quarter level is about to get hit. The last 3 days, you see same price action, right? Now, if you look at the market kind of before, if you look at the market a little bit before London, I like to call this, so today's blueprint is pre-London session, okay? So the pre-London session is really important for gold, and I'll put another note here. This is what you got to take note of and understand if you really want to get good at gold. Understand, like, okay, where it could go, how it could move into New York trend. A lot of times the pre-London will give you volume, and it kind of sets the stage for London session. There can be false moves, fake outs, liquidity grabs, stop losses being hit in this time. This is some important things to understand about before London. So you kind of, like, if you're a London session trader, you want to even look at gold a little bit before London and try to see maybe how price manipulates, what type of volume it has. Because usually once this kind of stage is done, that's where the real move really begins for a London session. You'll see between 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock, it's good for scalping, quick reactions on gold. But you'll see a lot of volume start to build up around that time. Those can be fake outs. You don't want to get maybe too trapped in there. This is an area where a lot of liquidity is grabbed from the Asian session. And there's a lot of traps, a lot of fake outs around this time. The volume starts to kind of kick up and it can go back and forth. But what that does is set the stage of, it's kind of where we are now, where you can kind of see like gold is right now. This blueprint, so if you go to the Discord chat, it's not mind me. Let's go to my screens. If you go to the Discord chat, there we go. There's a section that says blueprints. You can actually find this in here. All right. So the first one, key one, Tokyo pre-London. I put some other tips and stuff in there as well. This is key to understand gold because it gets you kind of to where the market is right now. All right, where a lot of traders might go for, like, if you look at what the market did between 12 and 3 a.m. or even a bit before that, you have this Tokyo session kind of range building up, like slow, right? Pretty much like the day before. Like the day before, it's kind of slower build up. The day before has more manipulation because the day before starts going up and then it drives down and then you just punch up. But you can see a lot of slowness before, right? Even here, market pumps up, drives down, and then it runs up. It sets the real direction. If you look at today, it pushes up, it pulls back, and then it makes it sets that direction. So with gold's really, I like to say the word kind of like versatile. It moves at different times of the day. New York session, Tokyo session, London session. There's not a lot of movement in the Tokyo session. It's kind of slow. It's good for scalping. I put pretty much all the blueprints inside the Discord. You can check them out. So now that we understand that, you don't want to trade too heavily, like be too reliant on Tokyo session. There can be some movement, but not a lot. So when I like to really get on the charts for gold, and because I'm a day trader, I look at the charts every day. I like to scalp, day trade, and swing the market. I can pretty much do anything because I've been trading for 10 years, but I like to look at gold every day. But there's times I don't look at it. So when I really like to get on the charts is midnight my time. I call it midnight, so that's 12 a.m. Eastern time. It's a good time to start focusing on gold because we know Tokyo pre-London starts to bring volume. So I like to kind of do my pre-analysis, check out what happened for the day, where is the market now at this point around these hours going into Tokyo pre-London session. Type a number 1 in the chat if you guys are getting value from this session so far. Big reminder, tomorrow is NFP. Quick heads up, right? Big day tomorrow. If you're getting value, remember to drop a like, leave a comment. Helps the channel grow. Only thing I ask for. And I'll keep bringing content your guys' way. I'm dropping a fire video today as well on this session when I'm done. Fire YouTube video is being dropped today. You guys are definitely gonna want to watch it. Trust me. It's a 10-minute video, but I think it's one of the best ones so far. It's on liquidity concepts. It's gonna be a fire one. But yeah, how we doing in the chat? What's chat saying here? How you guys doing in the chat? Anybody catch any moves this week on gold? Looking at gold right now, you gotta wait for price to, because again, we're bullish, we're in an uptrend. You gotta understand we're more in an uptrend right now on gold. So sells could happen kind of like they happened yesterday or even the day before. When price pushes up, you can see we make a higher high here, make a higher high here. So if we look at it actually right now, yesterday around 11:30, day before around 9 o'clock. So probably a New York retracement coming later on today, maybe around 9:30 in the market. I think right now would be too early because you can see from the last couple of days, price did extend more in New York session, and we just started moving the last couple of hours. So potentially, let's go to the daily and see where we actually are even. 4 hour. You could still go up even to 2680 before you get that sell reaction. But personally, I'm not really looking for sells on gold right now. I've been only looking for buys. Sells are pretty aggressive. I was thinking we were gonna go up all week until tomorrow, but we have NFP tomorrow, and depending on how NFP comes out, gold could still fly up after tomorrow. Tomorrow's NFP is expected to be negative when you look at this, when you read this. Check the Discord. It's pinned in the chat. If you look at the chat, it's pinned in the chat right now. We just dropped it right there. How much time would I recommend as a beginner to study the charts per day? Well, let me relate a little bit to when I first started. When I first started trading, I was working 10, 12 hours a day. So what I would do is I would go to work, come home, get my responsibilities done, and then whatever time I had left over in the day, I would dedicate to the charts. That's how motivated and determined I was, personally, right? So it's a good question. It's really as much time as you want to put into. Depends on your level of dedication, and your motivation. I would say from a realistic standpoint, at a minimal, 2-3 hours a day could be good to start out at, right? For me, when I started trading about 10 years ago, when I was 17, well, I'm turning 29 now, so a little bit older, and I started when I was 17, I'm turning 29 this year. I would put as much time. Some days would be 7 hours, some days would be 8 hours, some days would be 3 hours, some days would be more, some days would be less, but every day I would compound my time. So I find that's the key. Even if you're doing 3 hours a day, you got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 hours a week. You compound that. That adds up per month. Maybe, the more hours, I think the more hours, the more training to your eyes you'll do, right? More hours, more time, more compounding. But yeah, that's a good question. As much time as you want, but I would say as much time as you want, but 2-3 hours at a minimal. Yeah, gold, depending on tomorrow's NFP, you gotta remember tomorrow is the first NFP of the year. So it's probably going to be a really major one. We've seen a lot of market movement this week, especially with crypto. We got Bitcoin. I know everyone's probably wondering what's Bitcoin doing. And Bitcoin is looking really interesting right now. And we have the first NFP of the year tomorrow. It's forecasted negative for the dollar. It's forecasted that. So it's saying it's going to be negative. Now, if it comes out negative, then yeah. But if it doesn't come out negative, then the dollar could keep staying how it is at the moment. We've seen a really bullish dollar lately. Currency pairs bleeding to that. Dollar's looking bullish on the daily, right? Depending on tomorrow's NFP, though, really will suggest if we're going to be coming in for a local top here and starting a reversal for next week, or if we're going to keep trending more upside, right? And maybe keep going a bit more before that top maybe comes in, because it's been whole week bullish, and then we got first NFP tomorrow, which is forecasted negative. So if it comes out negative, it's gonna dump tomorrow, right? And that would keep gold, realistically, that would keep gold more bullish, right? That would keep gold blasting off probably. So eyes are on, and we're going to be live tomorrow for the NFP on here, checking it out, seeing what's going on. But that's a big number, because if you look at the previous number, so look at the previous number, and look what's forecasted for non-farm employment change. So this is USD. Employment, meaning how many people are getting employed, right? It's saying a big drop from the previous number. So if we come closer to that number or lower than that number, then that's negative for the dollar. Same with the unemployment rate. It's not expected to change. It's expected to stay the same. And average hourly earnings is expected to drop. So with that being said, could be a reversal potentially building up if it's closer to what's forecasted, for sure, for tomorrow. Bitcoin, you've seen some crazy movement lately. in the market. And honestly, I wouldn't be too worried about it right now because it's doing something really similar to what it did pretty much a year ago and in this time. We'll go back to gold in a minute and see how gold looks a little bit closer to the New York session. If you look at Bitcoin right now, everybody's been wondering, been getting a lot of DMs about this. I know in the last couple of days, it's like, wow, we had this nice bullish move up above 100K, and now we're right back down in a couple of days. It just shows you how much crypto can move in a couple of days. So imagine a couple of months. If we go back to a year ago, guys, I wouldn't be too worried. The date that you got to have your eyes on, and the date that traders have their eyes on right now, is the inauguration. This is on January 20th. So if we go Trump inauguration date, so Donald Trump steps into office on January 20th. This is the date that everybody kind of has their eyes on right now for markets, market sentiment. This is the big date for the market right now, January 20th, and then that week following after that week, all right? This is what you got to kind of be prepared for, especially if you're a crypto trader and you're into crypto, right? I trade gold mainly, and then I do a bit of crypto. I'm mainly a crypto holder. I have a big portfolio that's probably down like 6 figures just today. Like, literally. Ugh. You can't spell crypto without the word cry, you know? That's what they say. Just 50K today, you know? The week's looking rough, though. Rough week. Can't spell crypto without cry is what they say, right? Now, if you're into crypto like I am, if you're a crypto holder, like I hold a lot of crypto. I'm holding like 25 different crypto coins. I've been in crypto for 8 years now, right? Got a big portfolio here I'm looking at. And this thing's down, and I've expected this, especially with what's coming ahead, the inauguration date. So if you're a crypto holder, crypto trader especially, you got to keep an eye on this date, the news that leads to this date, and then after January 20th, when he steps into office. That's going to be big for the overall markets. For crypto, if we look at past cycles, so if we're taking a look at Bitcoin's price action during US elections and inaugurations, there is a recurring pattern that we can actually see in the market. So on the left, we have 2016. So leading up to the 2016 USA election, you can see Bitcoin experienced a steady rise in price. And then after the inauguration, in January 2017, we saw pretty much an explosive price surge leading up into February, March, and then even on for the rest of the year. So that right there on the left was under Donald Trump in 8 years ago, or his first term. What we got on the right is 4 years later, the next presidential election, 2020, we see a similar pattern leading into 2021. Bitcoin steady rise up, going into the elections, and then continuing to go up after January inauguration. So could we be setting up for another bullish run like this as we approach the next inauguration? Potentially, right? When you talk about Bitcoin and its protocol and what it was made to do and what it's like its white paper, there is a response to the US election and inauguration we can see happen cycle, and then also, not to mention, we're in the Bitcoin halving. So I wouldn't panic right now, but there's obviously still, what day is it? January 9th right now. January 20th, that's 11 days, right? So there's still a lot of time. Like, yeah, it's only 11 days. It's like there's not a lot of time, but there is, because look at what price did in the last 3 days. So it's like it's really close, but there's a lot of time for price to do kind of anything between now and January 20th, right? There's enough time for price to move a lot, whether that's down more into January 20th or even down and up. So even when we look at the last like 3 days, bearish, bearish, bearish. A lot of price movement. We went from 102,000 down to like a $10,000 move there just in 3 days. So we still have 11 days until then. So point I'm getting to with that being said is that by now in January 20th, a lot of price action can happen. We still could potentially go down more, right? We can see the market is hovering above $90,000 right now. What I like to do with Bitcoin, and this is what I'm going to say, to tune into these sessions and stay plugged into the Discord. Keep your notifications on, right? For both channels, because you're going to see me posting a lot in there because I'm going to be doing the research and work pretty much for you guys on this channel, because that's what I do as a trader. I spend pretty much 6, 8, 10 hours a day. I remember someone asked a good question in the chat, right? About as a beginner, how much time should I spend? You know, now that I'm like where I'm at, the level I'm at, and the amount of information, resources, knowledge, experience I have, I'm able to spend a lot of time and do a lot in a lot of time, and I'm able to do a lot in a little bit of time, right? So I'm going to be doing a lot of work for you guys with resources, information, mindset, tips, and tricks, right, on the market from my 10-year experience. So that's why I'm going to say, make sure you keep the notifications on so you don't really miss anything, because there's going to be a lot of things that you can take away from these sessions. Trust me. I always like to mark the whole numbers on Bitcoin. I'm going to be teaching you guys that on gold. If you go through the blueprints, you'll see I've already started to put some blueprints on that in the Discord. If you look at 90,000, for instance, right? That's a whole number. We might even come to that, or even like 88. Okay. That would be like, I could see between now and still January 20th, price potentially reaching there. That would be like from here to here dropping what, like 20%. Now, I'm showing you this because of a year ago, right? If you look at price a year ago on Bitcoin, so I'm going to mark an arrow so you guys kind of know where it is. A year ago here. This was December to January 20th. So I marked the same thing here, December to January 20th, a year ago. Just to kind of see, okay, what did price do a year ago? And if you actually kind of see, before January 20th, there was a big price dip on Bitcoin. After it almost reached 50,000. Who knows what happened here? Who knows what happened here? Maybe this is around this price. Who knows when that was? Chat. Who knows what happened here? Who knows? What EMAs? Someone said 20 and 50. Yeah, I would just, next couple months, I'm gonna just be streaming here all year 2025. Just stay plugged in. I'll have videos on a lot of the questions you guys are even asking on my channel and in the Discord. A lot of questions you guys are asking. I see like someone asked about the EMAs, the moving averages. Good question. I could make like a whole 8-hour training on that. I could do like, I could answer that quickly, and then there's the quick answer, and then there's the Evan Cabral answer. The Evan Cabral answer is a 1-day answer. If you know. There's 3 books in my Discord. Those are pretty dope. Not gonna lie. You got Trading Beyond the Matrix, Mark Douglas, Trading in the Zone, and then the Candlestick Trading Bible. People always ask who my mentor is. It's this guy right here. This guy mentored me. Learn from him. If you haven't read this is a good book. I think anyone who reads this book always says like it's a great book. Go in the Discord, it's in there. Free PDF. Check it out. Candlesticks or patterns. That's one of the ways I trade is candlesticks. I like to trade candlestick patterns. There's a lot of institutional stuff. Like I focus on some institutional stuff. It depends on what it is, concepts. But I'm not a full institutional trader. Like I like to look at the market structure shift, break a structure, fair value gaps, liquidity and volume. But there's a lot of simple practical things I look at. Like this book goes through a lot of stuff. I would say this is a good one. Halving, that Bitcoin halving. So I have a video on that. Go to the YouTube channel. There's a playlist. So we have a playlist on crypto on the YouTube channel. Go to the crypto playlist on YouTube. So if you go on my YouTube channel, you'll see different playlists. Go to crypto, and then there's a video on the halving. Now that's a dope book. For someone who asked, those are 3 good ones I would recommend, for sure. So none of you guys know what this was. All right, this is one. Maybe I think one person said it. The ETFs came out. So the ETFs for Bitcoin came out here. All right. Now last year, January 20th wasn't the Trump, no real political thing, but we could still get an idea of like patterns with time, because we can literally see like last year, if you look at September on Bitcoin, September's here. October, November went up all the way to December. So what do you see this year? This year you got September down here. October, November went all the way up till December. So it's actually doing, if you look at price, like it's doing something very similar to what it did a year ago, right? So a lot of people are asking about this through Instagram. I've been getting a lot of messages like, yo, what's happening with Bitcoin because of the price action the last 3 days. It's doing what it did a year ago. If you really look at the dates, like right now we're January 9th, right? Last year, January 9th, it was actually higher. So it's already dropping before January 20th, suggesting maybe we've started dropping a bit earlier before, right? We've already kind of started, like we've gone up, we've gone down. But the key thing is maybe the weeks after, so we can see this move happens in January last year, this big bearish move on Bitcoin. So potentially we're getting like a similar move before February, March is where we expect the market to go back up again and rally between February, March. So that is really like what we're going to be keeping an eye on pretty much the next 2 weeks, right? Is really like how price is behaving before January 20th. Obviously, now we know like it could keep dropping more, but after January 20th, it's more setting up for something like this. So that's my bias on Bitcoin leading up to, the new month, new year, first good trading week. Tomorrow's NFP as well. So does NFP bring in a big catalyst to drive price down lower, or reverse? Does the dollar forecast, like I was talking about not too long ago, does that come in more negative and potentially start a reversal back up on Bitcoin and a reversal on the dollar? That is potential. So with gold, guys, gotta remember tomorrow's NFP. So dollar's been trading bullish all week. Do I like to use the dollar? Of course. I always look at DXY in my analysis. You can even use whole numbers on the DXY, right, to mark your levels of support and resistance. Kind of like we do with gold. So the key thing is like what dollar does tomorrow, because it's traded bullish all week. And you can see we're at a resistance here. Gold's been trading bullish this week too. If dollar reverses here, then you're going to get more bullish price action on gold for the rest of the week, or even tomorrow more. What I would expect for New York session is possibly a retracement now. We just tapped 2375. So if you look, I would expect a potential retracement, kind of like you've seen yesterday, right? If you look at yesterday's price action and the day before, you had a pretty vast, big retracement. I'm gonna exit everything here that I'm in. Close these. Me, what I'm gonna wait for the New York session and stay in the Discord today, because if I see anything in the next couple of hours, whether we're live or not, I'll drop it in the Discord. But for now, we'll probably get a retracement back down, potentially between 2675, 2680. If you're looking for a bearish move. Me, I'm more bullish on gold. You can see, and if you go to my Discord and look at what I wrote about gold beginning of the week, I was saying I want to see if price can stay above 2650. So that's a psychological level. The market really likes 50s or 25s. When you look at gold, the market really likes 50s and 25s. And now we're at a 75. So from here, between this area, you could possibly get some retracement today on gold. Now that we've moved up, we've extended, you could get more extension like yesterday. You can see what price did yesterday from the day before. It took out the previous high here, and then we had a big drop. So this is uptrending structure. So for anybody who's really new, there's a lot of good videos on my channel about this. One we just dropped recently in the last 10 days, actually, on market structure. So when the market's in an uptrend, especially on gold, sells are going to happen when the market makes a higher high. Very simple. Timing those is key. So we're coming into that time where the market could potentially make a retracement. If you look at the last couple of days on gold, you can see that. Right? If you look at the market, forms a high here. So I was in New York session, Tuesday, 8 o'clock New York. What does it do the next day? It runs the high, and there you get your strong reversal really quickly down, 2650. Especially if they happen fast like this, like if we go up, if we extend up on gold and we get a fast move down, you could potentially be looking for bullish moves afterwards, kind of like yesterday. Like if you look at the price action yesterday, right, you see you got a fast move down, but market recovers that, right? Quickly recovers it and holds the move. Same thing with the day before. It recovers it, but then slowly goes up. So this setup would be more aggressive for gold because we're in an uptrend. You kind of want to see what the market does after 8:30, 9:30. But you could expect a retracement like this in the New York session. It might not be able to get through this level. You have a lot of previous support here in the market that we broke to the left. So you're trading up into that as well. So that's a key area where we may reject. But ultimately, since we're in an uptrend, it's going to want to get through that maybe tomorrow. If we're bullish tomorrow, we'll probably get through that zone tomorrow. If we're bullish tomorrow with the NFP news. If NFP news is negative tomorrow, we're probably more bullish for gold. Dope. Any questions, type in the chat, guys. Remember, drop a like if you're getting any value from the stream so far. SL rule. If it's like a swing trade, I usually use a much bigger stop loss. Usually 50 to 100 pips. Or previous, I have a few rules. I have a few rules for gold. Previous structure. Like if I'm looking at a 4 hour, then I'll look for a previous structure point to place my stop loss. Say, okay, from where I'm entering in this point, that's where I'm going to keep my risk. I'm usually looking at the structure from where I'm getting my entry. Like I was entering buys, for instance. When we look at, I was entering buys all in here. So I'm like, if price breaks below here, like if price comes to here, then I'm wrong. I'm usually giving myself like 50 pips minimum though for gold. Usually 50 pips minimum. Want to learn about news? We're going to be dropping a fire YouTube video in a couple weeks, but part number 1 is already up. You should watch this video for anybody who hasn't seen it. I'll drop it in the chat right now. This video is my most viewed video on YouTube. Most liked, most shared, most viewed video. I'll drop it in the chat right now for you guys. I just put a YouTube video in the chat. That video right here, learn to trade the news. I'm dropping part 2 in probably a couple of weeks. YouTube ads. I would watch this video because this will cover a lot of what usually happens in the news. We don't trade the beginning of the news. We usually let the news kind of just do its thing. So we like to sit on our hands. There'll be more trainings talking about this in depth, but the best thing you can really do is just kind of sit on your hands for the news. Wait 15-30 minutes. You'll see in this video I explain why we like to wait maybe 15 to 30 minutes when the news comes out and not just trade it right away. Now you guys can catch me here live on YouTube every day, all 2025, the rest of the year. We'll be here live on YouTube every day. We'll even be live multiple times a day, checking out the markets. Go into my Discord, be in my Discord, because that's where I'll be going over trade ideas and signals. But yeah, for right now, like, market just tapped 26.75. That's a quarter level. So between 26.75 and 26.80, I'm expecting potential retracement down. I just closed the buys that I was in. We'll probably get a retracement down. Could even come back down to like this range in here. Yeah, I could potentially even try to come back down to like that range if there's rejection in this area. Some things I like to do, and so that PDF I showed you guys about the candlesticks in the beginning when someone asked about the books, wait for candlesticks to close. So maybe if I'm looking for a sell here, I could say I'm waiting for the 1 hour to close and reject this area, and then after it closes bearish, I'm going to enter the market. The 30 minutes probably already closed bearish though, or about to, maybe 17 minutes. That's what I see on gold. I'll do an update in Discord in New York session. If I see a good signal, if I get a good retracement today, I'll probably send if there's a good retracement, I'll probably send a gold signal for like a bullish idea. I want to see how price plays out over the next 2 hours. But expecting a retracement down. The charts, so I can go over that a little bit too, yeah. So what you want to do, maybe for gold, and plug in every day, guys, because we're going to be going over, there's a lot of different things we're going to be going over. Someone asked a good question. So for gold, basic $5. Pretty much when you look at gold, right? And I have some videos on this. I'll show you which videos after, like I just did with the news one. Right. So to mark the lines, one thing you got to know about gold, and we're going to be going over this more on future sessions, is pretty much every $5 can act like a support or resistance. So you see how price just had a quick reaction there at 26.75, right? That's a $5 level on gold, right? Keep it going, $5 level. So every $5 basically from one level to another can act as, let's say, like a support or resistance where buyers or sellers could come into the market. So it's key to understand when you're looking at gold day by day or in different sessions, right? So what do I mean by different sessions? Well, let's go back to something we were talking about at the beginning of today's session. At the beginning of today's session, we were talking about the blueprint for gold, right? So when I say sessions, it's going to be referring to our blueprints. So blueprint number 1 could be pre-London session, Tokyo pre-London. So when you're watching gold and you understand price and then you understand times of the day, you can watch price at certain times of the day. Say, okay, price usually moves like this at certain times of the day. So we go through our different blueprints throughout these next couple of first sessions that we do, and I'll show you guys the schedule in a minute. So when I say every $5 can act like a support or resistance at different times of the day, or maybe different times that we're watching gold, it's key to understand those good times of the day, right, for gold, right? Where we can see volume come into the market, where price can start to go up, price can start to go down, and we can get a sense of how these movements happen on gold. So if you're new to trading gold, other than, times of the day, when you're looking at support and resistance, you got to understand, because if we break this chart down a little bit more, look at yesterday, 2670. So now you're getting a quick reaction at 2675 there on gold. So it gives you an idea at times too, like, okay, if I'm in a trade and the market's coming to a level, it might reverse. It keeps things not so random, I would say, when you're using whole numbers. Why does gold like to react at these whole numbers? These are levels that institutions often place their orders. So they serve as, like I said, key areas of support and resistance. So you'll see a lot of bounces or reversals off of these levels. They also kind of act like magnets for price. So if you go to the YouTube as well, guys, there's a good amount of videos on this. I like to call them psychological levels or whole numbers. First time for a trader, what market do you recommend? 500 to 200. Start on some currency pairs. Like gold is really volatile. Cryptocurrency is really volatile, and you want to get an understanding of volatility first, because there's different assets in the market that provide different terms of volatility. I like volatility. So I think as a beginner, that's a really good question that you asked. It's good to start out on some things that maybe have some minor volatility or slower volatility, like Euro USD. Get an idea for how to calculate pips with your currency pairs first. Get an idea of how I can calculate your lot sizes and your pips on a currency pair like Euro USD, or USD CAD is another really popular one that a lot of beginner traders like to start at, and USD Japan. I trade those from time to time. I like GBP USD. I would say that's my favorite. That's a bit more volatile, but not as much as gold. It can have really good movements. So I went over GBP USD this week, guys, in the Discord here. I posted a fire markup on this thing. Look at this. So looking at something like this, break and retest, support, bearish rejection candle, GBP USD. Look at this move that it made. So I like to look on currency pairs. I don't trade them like I trade gold. I look for moves like this on currency pairs on the daily. I trade currency pairs more on the daily, because I'll look for like a daily candle rejection. So something like this, a daily candle rejection. Who knows what candlestick pattern that is? Type in the chat if you know what candlestick pattern that is. Type in the chat. Type in the chat. We got 2 YouTube videos on it, so maybe there's someone here who knows. If you don't, I'm a school you guys. Take you guys to school here. The red one here, right? Yeah, you got the shooting star or hammer. Yeah, you could call it a hammer too, like pin bar, shooting star. Right, solid candlestick formation. We got some YouTube videos just on even on that candlestick pattern alone. Right here. We call it the only candlestick pattern you'll need. you just need this one, really. This is a good one that comes on any time frame. I like to look for setups like this on the daily when it comes to currency pairs, or maybe even the 4-hour at times, but the daily. We look at GBP USD this week. Daily, boom. So gold, more day-by-day action, scalping, day trading, a little bit of swing trading. I should have just swung trade gold. I should have just held on my buys this week. I don't even want to think about how much I'd be up. Probably would have been like at least like a 15-20K week if I held the buys that I was in from, like, I was in buys down here, and then I caught re-entries. If I just held everything, even my re-entries, 7K week right now. NFP tomorrow. Still a decent week. A little bit of a retracement there. It's pulling back. Yeah, guys. So I'll be on YouTube Live. You'll see me here on YouTube Live every day. This is what I'm doing now. So let's get rid of this. I think everybody's got this already. So this is the one thing I want you guys to take away from this session mainly, is Tokyo pre-London volume. It has an effect until now because, again, London is the next session that comes in and usually sets a trend until now. So the London session is the next key session that, again, if we're looking at time of the day, it's now 8:30, and there's typically 3 times a week, some days almost every day, there's a good trend. Like, we're seeing it every day this week again. One more time to mark it for you guys. Typically by this time, we've seen every day since Monday a big retracement. Like Monday, London session, big retracement in New York. Tuesday, London session. So London session is the yellow line. Go in the Discord. I'll recommend in the Discord anything like that. I'll put in the Discord the one I use but the one I use, broker I use is international. It doesn't work for USA. So anyone in the USA, I don't know what broker to use, but because I'm not in USA, so I'll recommend one, but it's outside of USA. It's good. It does fast withdrawals, same days withdrawals. I might do one today. I'll teach you guys what I like to do with accounts because we have some good videos uploading on the YouTube in the next 3 months. So you'll learn a lot from those too in these sessions. But 3 a.m., 3 a.m., 3 a.m., 3 a.m. every day now. This is gold for you. You can get a sense of pattern recognition, like, okay, look what it did Monday. Okay, look what it did Tuesday. Wednesday, you can capitalize on it, bang on it, right? Wednesday, Thursday. You might start to notice early in the week the price behavior. Now we're going into Thursday, Friday. So key thing, we went over blueprint number 1 already. That's pretty simple. Like you can get the other blueprints inside the Discord, right? So second blueprint for the session's focus is London session. And that's what I've been talking about pretty much all session, guys, right? Leading up to kind of where we are now, the trend, the London trend into New York. It can happen every week, multiple times a week, like you see this week, 4 times this week. Some weeks it happens 3 times, more or less, not every single week. Like, does it happen exactly like this? But when you go week in, week out, remember how many weeks there are in the year, right? When you're trading every week, there's a big flow of this that happens weekly. I think for gold sells, you got to really wait for like still some extension. This is aggressive. I would treat this area like scalping because we're still in an uptrend. I would be waiting for a retracement to maybe get back in. A bigger retracement down to potentially get back in. If price extends up more, then retraces down. So that's the gold kind of what I see for today. We could drive up more like yesterday. See, price really pushed up yesterday before that big drop. There's no major news today, right? There's just some speeches, I think. Nothing major. Wait. We're going to have to go back. Thursday. FOMC speeches today. All right. Yellow folders. Yeah. 9 a.m. Nothing crazy today. But I mean, you got a lot of I mean, throughout the day, it's just FOMC speeches today. There's not gonna, depending on what's said in these speeches, could impact the market, but it's not gonna be like direct impact so much. Like FOMC meeting minutes yesterday. The market might be more gradual today. Continue. I'm not really looking for the sells, guys, because knowing we're in an uptrend, you have like an area here between, if you look to the left, there's a support here. So that area right there, that's your pretty much resistance for the morning, like where the market could trade into, where your supply is up in here. I'm gonna wait. Should have been holding my buys. I'm gonna wait. If I see a good sell, I might send it in the Discord, but it's a bit aggressive. Have to wait probably. What time is it? 8:30, probably closer to 9:30 if the market's gonna react. But my plan for today is to let the market kind of do what it did yesterday. My plan for today is see if there's a retracement, or even the day before, or even the day before, the last 3 days. See if we get a big retracement in New York session, and if I can catch some buys after that retracement. So it's kind of just sit on my hands until that happens. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna just be on YouTube. A lot of questions. I think you'll figure it out for yourself, I guess. Won't say much. If you want my real-time trade ideas, live gold, live analysis, market discipline tips, my blueprints, training videos and stuff, just follow me here on YouTube. I'll be posting all this stuff on YouTube and just in the community Discord. Anyone in the world can have access to it, free to the public. And we'll be just doing live trading here. So I trade, so focusing on live trading this year. Big year for crypto as well. Locked in really on crypto all the way till March, right? Like, remember what we just talked about? Gonna be locked in. Oh, where's the other chart we had? Here, there we go. Looks like price could still go down until January 20th. So remember, big day, January 20th for Bitcoin. Doesn't mean that day, remember, it doesn't mean that day price is just gonna go up. It's like, okay, that's the day the market's waiting for to make moves after that day. So say the week, 2 weeks after, expansion. If you look at this, even like this box that I have between December to February, pretty much, like, and you look at like now, price looks pretty similar in price. Now how much did price go down there? Price went down a pretty good amount there, 21%. So that's, let's see, from this high, that's like down here. 21% would be like down here. Could keep potentially even going down more. I'm not turning into a bear, but I like to always think of like, okay, what's the worst case scenario, right, for this? Because I understand, because I've been holding Bitcoin since $1,200, right? So I've been in this through every event you can name since $1,200 I've been a part of, right? So basically, like, I understand there's a lot can happen in a short period of time. I understand, okay, yeah, it can go down to there by then, but then I understand also after what could happen, right? After maybe 120, 130, 120K, maybe 115, like something like that. 120 would be nice. A new peak, probably a new peak in March, after it goes through all of this until January 20th, and then maybe a little bit after January 20th. But yeah, I hope so far you guys enjoyed the first live stream of the year, first live stream of the YouTube. Drop a like if you did, drop a comment if you enjoyed it as well. Like I said, this is the first live session of 2025. Happy you guys all came on here. I'll be doing live sessions daily on this channel at the same time. We'll even be doing multiple streams a day another time. I'll drop the schedule right at the end of this stream. I'll post the schedule up at the end of this stream. And just another reminder, I have a Discord channel. It's pinned in the chat. So if you guys want my live updates, live trade ideas, I sent a pretty fire one the other day on gold. Just kept it at that for the week. Check it out. Check out the Discord. There's a lot in there. And then, yeah, quick reminder, tomorrow's NFP. So we're going to be live tomorrow for NFP. Be sure to be on tomorrow's session. Don't forget to join the community. Drop a like. Drop some reactions. Watch the other videos on the channel, guys, because in the next 2 months, there's going to be a lot more videos uploaded. So I would catch up to what's already there, because in the next 2-3 months, there's going to be like double the amount of videos uploaded on here. So if you haven't caught up already, you have some watch time, some things to learn. So once you watch these videos, trust me, coming on these sessions, you'll understand a lot more. If there's any quick questions, drop it in the chat, guys. Drop them in the chat if you guys have any quick questions before we get off on the stream. This is our first one of the day. And I got a surprise. We got one more tonight. We got one more session tonight. I'm going to put the schedule here in a minute. All right? I'm going to put the schedule here in a minute. There's more explanation videos, blueprints in the Discord. And it's going to be discussed on these sessions. So there's a purpose for these blueprints. And I'm going to be uploading more. This is one of many. I'm going to be making videos on that. So what I'm going to be spending the next month or two is actually recording in-depth videos on these blueprints by myself, where I don't have a live audience, where I'm just locked in and record in-depth videos on every single one of these blueprints. Now, there's a few of them there already. These are one of like 50 blueprints I have. So there's a lot more than just this. So there's a reason I'm uploading them now. But as you come on these sessions too, we're going to be going over some of these as well. We just went over a little bit. If you missed the beginning of the session, be sure to rewatch it because we went over one of the blueprints mainly. More at the beginning of the session, I would say like the first 20-30 minutes of the session. So I'd wait for gold. Like I wouldn't be bearish right now. You might get some drawdown. So maybe scaling in if you're looking for a bearish move, but I'm expecting retracement, but it's aggressive because we're in an uptrend. So we want to wait for more retracements. And tomorrow's NFP is supposed to be negative. If it's negative tomorrow, we'll talk about that on the next session more. Yeah, maybe a last flash before going back up. But yeah, like that's what it's looking like. More flush up here. Like that's what it's looking like we're doing. Unless tomorrow's NFP comes out negative and we get a huge reversal candle, like hold the line. Unless we get like a hold the line, like, you know, this is our this is the last lifeline right here for this low right here, right? Otherwise, it's flushing out probably one more time before Trump's inauguration. You see gold's got some bullish momentum ahead of NFP. And we got, on NFP, it's interesting how they're forecasting really negative and we got $1 up this week. So it could be, if it's, you know, anything can happen in the market. If NFP brings this back up, it's like, whew, what a ride that would be. But yeah, like you said in the chat, someone said in the chat, could be one more flush out. GG's in the chat. Yeah, drop a like, guys, on this video, on all the videos on the channel. It helps the channel out a lot. Remember to leave a like, leave comments on the videos. Helps the channel out a lot. That's all I ask. Lock in with me. Stay locked in. What's up, buying the 4 hour? If you're selling, it's like, Jesus, take the wheel on that one. So we're in an uptrend. Look at, like, yesterday's sells happened quick. So timing it would probably be closer to the FOMC speeches, which aren't much today. It's not really, there's no confirmation here. You'd be just playing off a price, really, trying to catch the top. There's no confirmation yet. 5 minute doesn't have anything yet. But soon, 2680, close. I was looking at price yesterday when it was literally on this candle. See this red candle here? I was like, oh, this should drop down now to here. It ended up dropping down, but you see the extension. So we gotta watch out for that because it looks like price could drop, make that move down, but it could extend up more, even then drop, right? Bear before going up. And you got a lot of ETF news coming out at the end of the month as well for Bitcoin. If you guys go into crypto news, I went over some stuff here. Sailor's been buying like crazy, so creating a lot of retail buyers as well. I think the big news for the month might be for Solana ETFs. The ETF filings for the end of the month, January 25th, with Trump's inauguration, January 20th. So the timing is definitely interesting there. But I hope you guys enjoyed this first session. We're going to wrap it up for the day. I'll drop the schedule here. So stay on for like a couple minutes. I'm going to drop the schedule here before we get wrapped up here. And you guys can take a screenshot of it. I'll save it and I'll put it in the Discord as well for you guys in a minute. But yeah, peace out, peace out, peace out. Hope you guys enjoyed this session. I'll see everybody on the next session. Remember, we'll be live tomorrow, same place, same time.